We don't call it difficulties, we call it learning opportunities, according to Alison Flynn, she's online. So that's the reason why I love teaching with Alison, because she always sees opportunities on things I see, mainly problems. So let me start by thanking you for being here and those online as well. Today is a special day for a country, for Canada. It's the Day of Truth and Reconciliation, where we Canadians, those who were born in here and those who took us a little bit longer to come home here in Canada, we reflect and acknowledge the mistakes we have made in the past with Indigenous peoples in Turtle Island, particularly thinking about the residential schools. Today and every day is a day of learning and a day of reflecting of the mistakes we have made as a society. When I tell people who I am, I ask them to see me and to see my face and see that this is genocide, the way I look. The entire continent was built on that, on cultural genocide and physical genocide. But it's on us to work together and to walk a path that is going to take several generations to heal. And I know those in the room, in here, and in this building at Hart Institute, were committed to that. Through the teaching I have received during the last couple of years, I have learned that it's not only enough to acknowledge the lands we're on, but also making sure that we do something that we honor the guardians of these lands. Ottawa is sitting on the ancestral and unceded lands of the Anishinaabe and Algonquin people. Those are unsurrendered and unceded lands. So we need to ensure that we do something to honor them every single day. Every single day is a gift. We learn here at the Hart Institute about the gift of time. We need to extend that to the gift of doing something good every single day for someone else. And the way today we're going to be honoring the guardians of these lands and reflecting on the memories of those who were lost to residential schools is by sharing this. Is by sharing learning by playing. Playing, that is so intrinsic to human nature, but the Western cultures have told us that we have to stop playing when we grow up. And in reality today, we're going to learn that it wasn't so right. So it is my pleasure to introduce Kenneth Gent. Kenneth is a civil engineer, and he has a master in industrial engineering at the Universidad de Concepción. It's not every day I can use my Spanish in here, so I'm using my Spanish in here. So he's also a fellow of the Global Competitiveness Leadership at Georgetown University, and he is a co-founder of the partner Momento Zero Entrepreneurship Foundation and Open Box Consulting and ValueNet. He has been an entrepreneur for over 20 years, and he has actually trained, I would say, thousands, if not tens of thousands of individuals in entrepreneurship. And he has been a speaker for over 300 conferences, lectures, and workshops. And I cannot emphasize how much of a leader actually Kenneth is. Back in the days, 24 years ago, I had the opportunity of being the first scientific writer for a magazine that he used to publish. So we spent a couple of years working together, and life actually led us to cross paths again. And today's lecture is going to be about, again, using playing as a tool to educate, to think more critically. But I invite you to take this to the next stage. So again, Kenneth, thank you so much. I know that the trip was a little bit long this time of the year. So, but Ottawa was waiting for you with a very nice weather. And we are very pleased to have you here and in this very special day. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Emilio. Hello to everybody. It's a pleasure to be here with you. And it's a very important opportunity to collaborate. It's the first time where I have so many scientific people working with something that I have developed by 20 years. And I reflect a lot in terms of how I can say something interesting for you. So let's try. Which is my main goal today? We discussed with Emilio about it, and I will present to you innovative strategies for training individuals to better identify their biases, and also to develop strategies for overcoming them. We just had an experience with some of you a couple of hours ago, working with toppling. That it's the game that we developed precisely for those aspects. And I was absolutely happy at the ending of the session because you were having fun, you were learning by playing, and you were discussing about the aspects that the game is putting on the table. So that game will be available for you in the laboratory, and that is the first step. Could you please, Irene, let's watch that video about toppling.
Love the commercials.
You too.
Sorry?
Just remove the mouse.
Yeah, I just need to find it here.
Prepárate. Hoy jugaremos derribando. Los mitos tienen muchas formas. Este juego fomenta el diálogo frente a esas creencias arraigadas en nuestra sociedad y que muy pocas veces cuestionamos. Hoy derribarás mitos sobre el género, sobre la educación y el trabajo, también mitos sociales e incluso mitos sobre las edades, el aspecto o la salud. Tu objetivo al jugar será derribar la mayor cantidad de mitos. Para hacerlo, tendrás fichas de energía y 4 tipos distintos de cartas. Mito, motivación.
Okay, the video is in Spanish, but you have subtitles in English. So here we go.
Prepárate. Hoy jugaremos derribando. Los mitos tienen muchas formas. Este juego fomenta el diálogo frente a esas creencias arraigadas en nuestra sociedad y que muy pocas veces cuestionamos. Hoy derribarás mitos sobre el género, sobre la educación y el trabajo, también mitos sociales e incluso mitos sobre las edades, el aspecto o la salud. Tu objetivo al jugar será derribar la mayor cantidad de mitos. Para hacerlo, tendrás fichas de energía y 4 tipos distintos de cartas. Mito, motivación, acción y reacción. En tu turno, deberás utilizar muy bien tus cartas y energías para intentar derribar los mitos que los demás jugadores tienen en su mano. Pero mucha atención, ellos podrán defenderlos. Cuando tu turno finaliza, debes estar preparado para que otros jugadores intenten derribar tus mitos. El desafío es que logres la mayor cantidad de puntos de victoria. Estos se obtienen de 3 maneras: derribando mitos, defendiendo mitos, cumpliendo motivaciones. Ten presente que los mitos tienen muchas formas y tú puedes ser parte de la solución al reflexionar sobre ellos. ¡Alístate! ¡Vamos a derribar mitos!
Yeah.
Your presentation. We need background music and so on. Yeah, so just the mouse is come back here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, as we could watch in the video, there is a tool for how to learn by playing about myth. And I would like to ask you a question. Does anyone feel like playing? Who likes magic? Raise your hand. Okay, this is a very good. Yeah. So I need a person to volunteer. Who could like to be the volunteer? First, Fantastic. Do you have a pen, a pencil? You will need it. And a piece of paper, because you will choose a number between 1 and 100, included 100, and write it on a piece of paper without saying it, okay? And you will tell me when you're all set. Okay, let's go. You have to be very, very concentrated, because we will do magic. Is your number there? Yes, perfect. Is your number there?
No.
Okay. There?
No.
There?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No.
78 is a fantastic number. It was, no?
Yes.
I told you. So let's try again. Any other volunteer? More people. Okay, fantastic. For us to do it again. Yeah, so choose a number between 1 and 100 inclusive. Write it on the paper. Are you ready? Okay, you have to be very concentrated. I need to read your mind. Okay? As you know, I can do it. Is your number there? No. There? Yes? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
54 is a fantastic number. So I'm with people of science, so I need to make some questions. What are you thinking about now in your brains? Do you feel more eager than at the beginning to continue participating in this presentation? Why? How does a dynamic like this help the motivation? Good questions. Does anybody has more eager now than before the exercise to continue being here? Yes? Why? It's dynamic. And the most important thing is this. Learning by playing is intrinsic to human beings, to human nature. Nature chooses games so that mammals could learn quickly and survive. But our educational system doesn't know. And we are trying to recover some things that nature gives us all the time. Let me tell you some anecdotes about my career. How I did come to dedicate myself to these topics. As Emilio said, I'm a civil engineer, and I'm here by chance. I came from Chile, a little country from South America, the same country than Emilio, and I graduated as a civil engineer, and a structural one. And of course, almost impossible, faster, farther, no, how do you say lejano? Farther than these topics. But I had some experience that changed my life. I came to US in order to improve my English in a student exchange program when I was finishing my postgraduate student studies, and carrying trays, washing dishes, and doing this kind of activities, I was thinking what I will do in the future. And when I came back to my country, the situation in my country was like this. Those are newspapers activities in 2005 in Chile. So Chile, top 1 in macro management in the world. In improving education, the main Achilles heel. The key are education and growth. Only Chile, only Latin American country among the 25 most competitive in the world. Sant Alberto Hurtado revives the challenge for a more just Chile. So I thought, who puts the bell on the cat? Because everybody speaks about it, but almost nothing do something really in that direction. And I was very young, and I thought that maybe I could do something. I was pursuing my master's degree in industrial engineering and had learned that entrepreneurship and innovation are the key to country development. I really believe that you know that also. So I was thinking, we need young entrepreneurs and innovations. What can we do? I also knew from familiar history that the key is to train trainers with educational innovation. And at the middle of 20th century, Chile had an illiteracy rate close to 30%, making an urgent to reinforce method for learning to read and write. And my great uncle, Adrián Duflo Galdames, was a language teacher who created the Spanish-American syllabary in 1945, the most important educational innovation developed in Chile, which has more than 90 editions through Latin America. And as you can see, country brand Chile Image 10 years ago wrote it remembering. And many people, as you, that learned how to read using the syllabary, has an emotional connection with that innovation. But the most important thing of that innovation that is correlated with the thing that we do today is that with this product, this innovation, if you know how to read, you can teach how to read to everybody. So with the games that we are introducing, people can develop competencies and learning, deep learning in other guys. And that's a strategy. So I continue developing how to create a company. We present to a business instance in universities. We were awarded in one of those, Chile Empresario, and we proposed something absolutely revolutionary for those times. We would like to make in Chile a country of entrepreneurs, so we will create a social entrepreneurship company. That was like, what are you joking, man? This is not correct. 20 years ago, social entrepreneurs, nobody were talking about it. But we really believe that we can do something in that direction. In my mind, I was thinking this question: how much is it worth for the next generation of Chileans to have a culture of entrepreneurship and innovation? I have been doing speech and presentations and conferences in the most important spaces in Chile and other countries, talking with the elite of universities and companies about it. Because if we really want to do it, we can do it. But if we don't want, of course, never will happen. Our international experience is in all those countries. Our games and methodology are used in more than 10 countries, especially in Latin America. The road travel in 20 years is, as you can see here, we have developed many, many things, but the most important thing that I really believe are all the mistakes that we have done. The mistakes are the most important opportunity to learn and to incorporate new knowledge. If you don't do mistakes, you are not learning. But of course, you need to understand that it's not personal. If you do a mistake, nothing happened. But our culture, the most of the time, is not in that way. If you do a mistake, the most of the time, that could be a weak sign in terms of ourselves. And we need to fight about those biases. In 2018, I traveled in my first time to Finland. I've been there 4 times after that. We represent 5 institutions in the educational field from Finland in Chile and Latin America. So today we are introducing one of the best educations in the world in Latin America, also the things that we have developed in that way. motivated by the relationship between playful learning and playful mentality in us as human beings, I wrote a book, Playful Mindset, to create, educate, undertake, and innovate. That book is available for free in PDF, in Spanish and English, and I will give you soon the QR code in order to download if you want. In that book, you will find ideas and studies presented in a very simple way. We spent a lot of time in terms of graphic communication because we don't want to put in a hard way something that must be simple, and put it in a simple way, it's very harder. The most important thing is that people understand that learning by playing always works if you do well. If you don't do well, maybe work, maybe not. And we put many metaphors, as you can see this one, in order to explain. When we are using a game, we need the game, the playful mindset, and the key goal is meaningful learning. And of course, you need to train people in order to generate meaningful learning. I love this phrase. As you can see, to do things complicated, okay. But to do simple, complicated things, that's creativity. This is the QR code. If you want to scan, this is the moment. I will give you time for that. I hope it works. We checked before my trip to Canada. So if you get it, I will be very happy if you say to me, okay. Yes? Fantastic. So, of course, you can check the book later. I will continue now. Emilio told me about the project that you are starting. And of course, I would like to share with you some ideas and recommendations. Thinking about the enabling project and in Biotech Create. What things seem important to me in this context? First of all, be honest about what the project is for, what I'm talking about. You have two possibilities. Option one, to comply. Option two, to take charge. As you can see, both ways are so different. You can do many things to comply, and it's okay. Will be for awareness. We can do communication activities, we can do talks, we can do many those typical things. But in the option two, if you take charge, you have to generate an innovation challenge. You have to generate new knowledge, you have to train new ways, and you have to really want to solve the problem. And that means generate goals, and of course, work interdisciplinary with many professionals. The actions associated with these options are very different. And that's the key reason why I'm saying to you this aspect. What actions are performed in both options? To comply, for example, and it's very common, diagnostic studies, it's important. We need content in websites. Perfect, we need it. Bien, well. Make talks and mass activities. Perfect. And of course, communications and marketing. That's okay. But I insist, this is for awareness. So to take charge is all the above plus work from the use of active learning methodologies in an efficient and effective manner. And this is hard, this is expensive, and this is complicated. And that's the reason why the most of the time, few people try to do it. When we are talking about active learning methodologies, what we are talking about it? So these are methodologies that bring people into a central role in the experience, where they are able to enjoy a full interactive process of continued creation and leave behind the passive or receptive roles that they are accustomed to. The focus is on the learner, not on the facilitator, on what is learned and not what is taught. This allows us to ensure the achievement of truly meaningful learning that can be transferred to real life. The activity that we have developed in this morning, it was an active learning because you learned by yourself and you were the protagonist of the process. Some active learning methodologies you can find in the screen. I'm a specialist in learn by playing, but there are many more. I will tell you soon why I choose learn by playing and why we really believe that if we want to generate a very important impact, there are competitive advantage of learn by playing as an active methodology versus the others. Let's reflect a little bit. How many of you knows how to ride a bike? Raise your hands. All of you, perfect. How did you learn how to ride a bike? Crashing? Yeah, this is true. Have we forgotten how to ride a bicycle after we learned? Never. So if we learn how to ride a bicycle, we will never forget it, right? Nobody learns to ride just by watching videos on YouTube. Don't forget it. Why is so important? Because every day we have more influence of social networks, we have more technology, but our nature as a human beings is the same. So the process of learning and deep learning in us, nothing changed. So if we want to make a change, we need to understand how we learned. And the example of the bicycle is very important because you have to get on a bike to learn to ride. You will not learn in a simulator on YouTube if you don't go up the bike. So if you are using active learning methodologies, people will learn. If you are not using, people will not learn. So what about the definition of a skill? The aptitude of an individual for completing a given task, activity, or action. And a skill, it has, first of all, skills. For example, using the soccer example, I can control the ball. That's okay. Plus knowledge. Using the soccer example, I know the rules of soccer. Perfect. And third, character. I want to play and to work in a team. If you have the three conditions, so you got the competence. What that means, I'm a good soccer player. If you don't have one of those, you don't have the competence. You need the three. Second idea, managing it as if it were an innovation challenge. What I mean? It is necessary to work of a challenge of innovation and the design of service experience that allows, first of all, structure a reasonable plan. Second, to be able to answer how it is going to be done. Third, with what methodologies and tools. And finally, how much it costs and how long it will take to do it. So every question, it's a world. But every one of those questions, it's the key for the success. Let me give you a concrete example that I know from close quarters. At the level of the Chilean population in general, there is much to be done in terms of financial literacy and behavior. There is a study, a survey in financial literacy that says that 71% of Chileans do not know how to calculate a simple interest. 71. And as you can see in the screen, there are other rates very high in terms of illiteracy in the financial way. Okay? Let's do another aspect. At the level of teachers, we are talking about secondary teachers, financial illiteracy and the lack of teaching skills to teach financial education is another aspect to consider. According to a study financial education at school, 7 out of 10 teachers do not have the confidence to teach financial education content. And 49% of teachers surveyed are financially illiterate. Those are hard numbers. So we just finished a huge project. During 2 years, we carried out the Play and Learn Personal Finance project with the government of Santiago. Santiago is the capital of Chile, where participate all the municipalities of Santiago. Are 52 municipalities. We're talking about 1,000 teachers, 150 educational establishments, and thousands of school children. And now I will tell you something that I mentioned before. Game-based learning is a 3 R's active methodology: transferable, replicable, scalable. Those 3 characteristics are key if you would like to generate a huge impact in a population. Because if you have a fantastic active methodology, but it's not a TRES methodology, you will not have the money in order to pay when you would like to increase the impact. So you need to have decrease cost when you are increasing the amount of people. So this is a strategy definition in order to select which kind of active methodology will you use. I'm so sorry, I need help. I will present you Final City, that is the other game that we used in that project. Thank you very much.
So maybe in the meantime, while we're going that, to give you a little bit of context, the naming project that I can mention is a project that we go through the University of Ottawa Research Corporation, and we're developing new strategies for training healthcare workers on habits and practices that are discriminatory against patients. So Michelle Stebat, so she has been instrumental for that together with Irene. So we're working on how to create a methodology of teaching that is not invasive, but it's also sparking that need of, oh my God, I have an amazing mindset and I didn't know about it. So we want to actually bring this training into healthcare workers and medical doctors and also.
¿Estás preparado para jugar? Llegaste al lugar correcto, Financity. Hoy serás responsable de un hogar y deberás manejar tus ingresos, administrar tus gastos y ocuparte de tu bienestar. Durante 10 años, es decir, 10 turnos, tendrás la opción de ahorrar, obtener créditos, hacer inversiones y lograr puntos de bienestar. El desafío es tomar las mejores decisiones para conseguir las 4 condiciones de victoria que verás en tu tarjeta de hogar. Al final del juego, competirás por ser el campeón si has logrado 500 de ahorro, no tener ningún pagaré, adquirir al menos una inversión, 300 o más puntos de bienestar. Y como las finanzas personales son una decisión estratégica, debes pensar muy bien en qué lugar del tablero te ubicas en cada turno. Recuerda que en Financity no gana el que más dinero tiene, sino el que mejor equilibra sus recursos y su bienestar. Antes de empezar, ten en cuenta que los imprevistos son siempre una posibilidad. Ahora ya estás listo para vivir en esta ciudad. Bienvenido a Financity.
It doesn't matter if we are talking about one person that lives here or in other continent. Everybody in their lives will have to administrate resources. So if we are trying to give opportunities to people, it's the key that they learn as faster and as younger better how to take better decisions for their lives. So if we are including this kind of methodologies and tools in the schools, and they are learning how to generate their own well-being and for their economic familiar progress, of course, we will impact in the future in their lives and in the society. So now I will share with you my third idea, teamwork and confidence. And I will express to you with this video. Let me take a little time. How?
You can just-
Yeah. Want to continue or
No.
Can we think a little bit about the video? What did you see in that video? What did you watch? Ants, perfect. Ants, of course. Well, teamwork effort. What more? Perfect. What more? Perfect. What more? Hmm? Teamwork, yes. What more? Hmm? A message. Well, what more?
Awareness.
Perfect. Well done. What more? Yes. Perfect. Fantastic. What more? I'm sorry? Humor, yeah. Fantastic. What more? Yeah, absolutely. That's true. What more? Go deeper. Go to the not obvious answer. Let me give you an idea. Did you see confidence? Yeah. These details make the difference. When the ant, that is the leader, detect the problem, there is a first confidence act that is key. That ant has confidence by himself. Because tell me, is or it is not a stupid decision go against your enemy? If you are an ant, I'm so sorry, it's a stupid decision. You're right? Because the most logical decision is go in a hurry. But that decision makes a difference. But there is another confidence decision. The group believes in the criteria of the leader and makes another sign of confidence and go with him against the danger situation. So the decision is do not lose the partner who was in a complicated situation. It was, hey, let's take care about it. Let's work together and let's generate a solution. That the most of the time, if you are an external person, you will say, those guys are absolutely crazy. Are you understanding my idea? If you are trying to implement these kind of projects, the most of the time, and it's the same when you are doing innovation, people outside will think those guys are crazy. those guys are losing money, losing time. This is not the way. No, gone. But believe me, there is nothing really important in innovation that start in other way. This is the road, and you must know that this is the road. My fourth idea, and it's my last idea for you, I will tell you in a moment. Why? Because first of all, let's play to applause. For 10 seconds, everyone present will applaud. Thank you very much. So, what grade would you give to the applause? Hey, yeah, we're laughing. I love that. I like it. So 1 is very bad, and 7 is excellent. Okay? So I would like to ask you, which will be your grade? Please use the microphone because thank you. 5?
Yeah.
It's okay. Only the grade. You.
3 or 4.
Okay. Please.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Okay. What about you?
3.
Okay. What about you, David? 4. Okay. Who more?
6.
6. Okay.
I think it's a 4.
4. 4.
4.
4.
So
3. Okay. A 3? Okay.
3.
3.
3.5.
Yeah, of course. You can say whatever you want. 3.5?
So I'm used to very loud.
It's fantastic. What about the final line?
I think I'm in the 3 group.
Okay. 4.
7.
7. Oh. 4.
5.
5.
Solid 3.
Okay.
5.
5. Perfect. So guys, let's repeat the experience. For 10 seconds, everyone present will applaud. Now. Thank you very much. Let's go to evaluate again. So please, Rebecca, can you share the microphone? Which is your grade? 7. Wow.
6.
6.
7.
7.
Hand off, so
Yeah.
With
6.
6. Perfect.
Yeah, definitely a 6.
6. Okay. Go behind. No. You first.
Still 6.
6. Still 6. Okay.
6.
6.
6.
Okay.
5.
5.
5.
5.
Should have stood up 7.
5. Okay. 6.
5.
5.
I have to go with Belislav. If that was a 7, we'd be standing.
Okay. 5.
6.
6.
Still 7.
Still 7. Okay.
5.
5.
7.
7.
5.
5.
7.
7. Okay. When Emilio invited me, I said, I need to do something interesting with scientific people. So I will do an experiment with them. And we just did. I have some questions. How did we do on the second occasion? Worse, the same, or better? And why? Who would like to answer that question? There are more than one question in the sentence.
Better. We understood that.
Okay. Did I say to you, hey guys, you have to do it better in some moment?
No, but we realized we
Okay, so interesting your response. What more? Does anybody say something?
Yeah, of course, we try to improve at the same time, but I think that's beyond the dynamic of the play. I think it's because we always try to improve. That's the thing. So we realized that it was around 5, 4, whatever. And we also we try to improve that. Whatever the rules of the play, I think it's beyond that.
Perfect. When you do the first applause, you didn't understand much. So the presenter said to you, you have to applause, and you did. And thank you very much about it. But you did it without thinking why I'm doing that. But after, as you well said, when the scale appears and you put the grade, activates what David says. So human beings, when we have the conditions, always want to improve, always. If somebody is not trying to improving, we should think, what is happening with that guy? Because the most of the time we put some jute or some myth in the people, but we should think maybe something is happening. Because in our nature, all the time we try to do better, okay? But be careful with some things that happened. If you put a 7, as you did in the first, let me do it a question. Did you do your best in the first applause?
I believe I did my best.
But listen to the question. It's your own responsibility, and I will believe you. Did you do your best? Okay. As I respect his response, I believe. I will ask to the other guys, okay? Did you do your best? Yeah. So I repeat the question. Did you do your best? Why?
The outcomes were clear.
Okay.
We didn't know why we're doing it, so why bother putting in your best if there's no end result or end expectation?
Okay. But as David said, when the scale appears, you try to do better, or no? You said, but you didn't did your best. So you try to improve something. Okay? This experiment is fantastic. You will get a lot of material, and we are discussing about it. If you put a wrong evaluation, for example, if I didn't do my best and I put a 7, how I will improve if I didn't do my best?
So isn't it personal? So like who can determine like the best level? I don't know. I gave myself 7. The other ones give 5. But it's my personal decision. If there's no scale, like who can evaluate? Oh, if you like, I don't know, if there's, let's talk about the experimental design. If you put some like at a measurement, like the level of like how strong I did, and they say it is 5. But if you ask me, for me, it was 7, right? It is personal. So I don't think so. It's like this scale is like is solid for the, I don't know, the personal answers.
You are right. You will put the standards. And I ask you, did you do your best? And you said yes. So I believe you, and it's okay. And I'm not saying that you didn't do. I'm asking to the other guys, and they said, we didn't know. But if you really believe that you did, it's okay. But I have another question. Do you want to do it again and do it better? Yes or no? Yes or no? This is the difference when we are in front of an innovation challenge. If you will not do your best, you will not be success. Because an innovation challenge is really hard. And my last recommendation is do your best to get it right. It makes no sense to do things in other way. Thank you very much.
So we have time for some questions. Anyone in the audience here or online?
No online questions.
Questions? Here, the audience? I'm here with the idea.
How do you evaluate the risk?
Oof, it's a tremendous question. Experience gives you more and better ways in order to evaluate the risks. When I started 20 years ago, I really believed some things that currently I don't believe. I did many mistakes, and now I understand the things in a different way. My recommendation is interdisciplinary work with people different than you. And all the time, I'm trying to find people better than me, because the best way in order to evaluate risk and to find opportunities is to work with people with talent. If you have talent in your teams and people with different competences, you will be closer in order to be success in this kind of challenge, especially in innovation. If you are with people that they are not better than you and they know less than you, your possibilities will be few.
Thanks. Are you thinking about the applause experiment? And on your first question, like on our first trial with applause, you say like, did you do your best? A lot of us say no. I think personally, it was because I didn't know what I was being graded. And there are a lot of stuff in through our life, like daily basis, that we do not do our best because we do not know we are being observed. But if you always do your best, like I believe in that. I always try to do your best, but you don't have energy to do everything your best. You don't have, at least I don't have the energy to give everything my best. How do I manage that? How do I decide where to give my best?
Congratulate, because your question is really, really good. I think that the first thing when I was very young that I understood is that the time never come back. If you understand that, you will be more strategic in order to identify the things where you need to put your best. Because if you don't have the sure that maybe that opportunity will come in the future. And if you would like to do it later, you have to consume resources and time in the future that you could use for other things. And in my case, my resource of energy is my passion. If you are passionate about the things that you are doing, you will find more energy than the common people. If you love the things that you are doing and it makes sense for you, the things that you are doing, believe me, you will have more energy. You have to connect with yourself, because energy, it depends on you and your motivation and your passion.
Okay, so
were...
we have more questions now. You have one? Yeah.
I found your financial literacy and the myth-shattering game very interesting. I was wondering, in that game, maybe specifically in the financial literacy game, was there a way that you quantified how much people learned through that game about financial literacy? And did you compare what they learned from playing and getting to know the game and being competitive there with if you had put them in a room for an hour and they had sat through a short talk on financial literacy? Like, did you have quantifiers of how much more effective that learning style was?
Congratulate you again because the questions are so good. Yes or no? Why? Where? Sorry, why? To measure learning is so complicated. What can we measure fast and cheap if change the conduct of people in terms of the decision that they took before the stimulus and the play and after that? When children, before to play financially, they don't know how to use the access to credit. They don't know how to invest. They don't know how to save money. And after to play, they do it normally. Believe me, they learn something. And teachers, when they change their biases and they get more knowledge and the capacity to do something that they didn't before, they learn something. We now are trying to generate collaboration with the research institutions in order to go deeper in your question. But believe me that it's very complicated to do this kind of research because you need a lot of money if you would like to do it well. As you know, as a scientific, to do this kind of research is expensive. And we are trying to generate evidence in a very massive way in terms of, hey, something important is happening here, so that would be interesting to be measured, to be researched. We got a grant a few months ago from the corporative area of Scotiabank here in Canada. So we will implement a very interesting project in the next 12 months. And we really hope to continue developing a new project in that way. So Berat, your question is very good.
All right, so assuming that we don't have questions online, don't? Okay, perfect. So join me giving Canada 7th grade applause. Thank you again.